Okay, this time I'm gonna go over non-calculator session, question number 4, 2018. So we have this graph here. Usually when you have a graph, it's gonna be easy question, so don't panic. At least A is gonna be easy. So according to the question, this graph is f of x with 6 over this one. And this is the R is the shaded line here with a horizontal line y equals 3. So question says find the area of R. It's very simple. Do you see this one is like bounded by these 2 points here, which is like -1 and 1. And this graph itself is f of x. So what you can do is, if I find area under the curve, -1 to 1, f of x. If I do this one, that's gonna find area of this entire thing, but I wanna subtract this portion, which is y equals 3. So always, top equation minus bottom equation. That's what you can do, like minus 3 dx. And then when you anti-derive it, you can do something like that. So, for example, f of x is gonna be equal to this, right? So I'm gonna write this, 6 over 1 plus x squared, okay? So let's do this one. When you do this, hardest part is just memorizing this, memorizing something. And also, I can do it like this. 1, -1, I'm gonna put 6 outside. 1 over 1 plus x squared minus 1, -1, 3 dx. Okay. I don't really have to do that portion because, so here, do you see this portion? I don't really have to anti-derive it. It's gonna be like 3x from 1 to -1. But do you see this one is area under the curve, like area of this one? So you can just find it. Since it's a rectangle, do you see it's a 2? It's gonna be 3, so it's gonna be 6. So if I were you, I would just cross it out and I'm gonna just put this one is equal to 6. But just in case, if you wanna go over everything, I can do it for you. So here, let's do this. It's gonna be 6 times. Now, this one is not gonna be natural log of 1 plus x squared because it has x squared. So this one, you have to memorize it, which is gonna be 1 plus x squared. This one is gonna be tangent, -1, okay? If it was like 1 minus, like square root of 1 minus x squared, that's gonna be secant, -1, okay? X. Minus, again, you don't really have to do it, but I will show you how to do it. It's gonna be 3x, okay? From all of this from -1 to 1, okay? So let's do this. What's the 6 times tangent -1, 1 minus tangent -1 to the -1. Do you see that? This whole thing minus this portion, 3, 1. But I swear this is gonna be like 6. Okay, I got this one. Because again, this one represents area under the curve, which is this one, so it's gonna be 6. But watch this, this is gonna be 6. So do you see that's gonna be 3? 3 times negative is -3, but there's a negative, so that's gonna be like +3. So do you see 3 plus 3 is equal to 6? I told you did not really have to do it, but I just showed it to you for you. So it's gonna be this. So it's gonna be -6 at the end. But problem is this. What's a tangent -1 to 1? So what gives you 1? Now remember, tangent is sine over cosine, right? And in order to be 1, so sine over cosine should give you 1. In order to get 1, top and bottom should be equal to each other. When do they equal to each other? When they are, do you remember when pi over 4, they are square root 2 over 2 and square root 2 over 2? And obviously this one is gonna be 1. So this is gonna be pi over 4. Just like that, tangent 1 of -1 is gonna be obviously negative pi over 4. That's what you have to know. So, yep, it's gonna be 6 times pi over 4 minus negative pi over 4 with a bracket, and negative times negative become positive, and when you combine them together, that's a 2 pi over 4. 6 times 2 pi over 4 is going to be 12 pi over 4 minus 6. And you don't really have to simplify it, but if you want to simplify it, you can write 3 pi minus 6. That's fine. So that's how you do it. But even if you leave it like that, you're good. Now, if you think, Mr. Kim, that's too much, I cannot do it, just write until here. That will give you at least 1 or 2 points. Like, even if you don't remember this portion, and even if you get wrong, write something. Like, this is a one point, and this step is going to be 1 point, and that's going to be 1 point. Like, 3 points in total. So don't worry about, like, write something. Like, write bullshit, okay? Excuse me, my language. You know how much I love you guys, right? So here, write but do not evaluate. So it's only setting up the equation. Integral expression of the volume solid generated by R, rotated it about horizontal line, y equals 7. So I don't have to solve for x. So again, this one is going to be pi r squared, okay? I believe this one is going to be the last chapter that you have learned. When you actually look at this question, you have to look at 7, so y equals 7, like this one, that's a y equals 7, and you're going to rotate it here. So that's for question number B. Now, what you have to do is, for this portion, you got to find radius, and you got to find out the equation. So equation, like here to here, is going to be simple. So do you see this length itself is going to be 7, right? So basically what you're going to do is area under the curve of this whole thing minus area of this one. That's what this is going to be. And let's say this whole thing is going to be r of x. And the maximum number r of x is going to be like, it's going to be 4. Why? Do you see 1, 2, 3, 4? That's why. Or you can put 7 minus 3, whichever you like, 7 minus 3, whichever makes you happy. It's going to be 4, because this whole thing is going to be 4. So we already know what it is. We know that now r of x is equal to 4. Now we got to find the radius as well. Radius is going to be, radius changes over time, as you can see. Radius is, let's see, radius is going to be always this minus, like, do you see it changes over time? So I will just put 7 minus f of x, because 7 minus this, that's gonna be the radius. Okay, so write like this is gonna make your life easier. So here, volume, we don't have to evaluate, so that's the good part. It's gonna be pi from -1 to 1. It's very simple. It's gonna be what? Whole thing. So it's gonna what's it called? R of x. Oh, just put this one into the bracket, squared, minus radius, because when you rotate it, it's gonna be this whole thing minus this portion, just like any other questions, right? Like just like here, just you're rotating it. That's the difference. Minus radius squared dx. Therefore, when you actually write it better, it's gonna be 1 to -1. We already know what this is, which is 4, so I'm gonna write 4 squared minus, we already know what radius is, 7 minus f of x, 6 over 1 plus x squared dx. That's it. You can, I think even if you write it f of x, it's gonna be fine, but you know, I was just being nicer here, so I just put it like that, okay? That's it. You don't have to evaluate it, so you just leave it like that. That's gonna give you the answer. So last one, let h of be the vertical distance between this one and horizontal line, whatever here. It says find the rate of change of h of x. So basically, question is asking find the rate of change, which means find the first derivative. So let's do this. What's the h of x gonna be? H of x is what? We already found it here. Wait, what's the question says? H is the vertical distance between x and f of x. So we don't know what that is, but I don't know what number it is. Distance between this and this, right? So it's gonna be just and y equals 3. So I will just write down 3 minus f of x. Vertical distance, okay, from y to 3. So that's gonna be just nothing but 3 minus 6 over 1 plus x squared, okay? Now, you're gonna find the vertical distance, so, rate of change, so let's drive it. 3 will disappear, negative stands here, so what is this gonna be? We're not anti-deriving it, we're deriving it, and that's a quotient rule. Do you remember this? F prime times g minus g prime times f over g squared. We're gonna use this. So I'm gonna put top number as a f, bottom number as a g. So f is equal to 6. F prime is 0, because that's a 0. G is 1 plus x squared. G prime is 2x. So let's plug this one in. So I still have a minus here, because 3, although 3 disappear, I still have a negative, so I'm gonna write negative. When I drive it, 6 is f prime, so it's gonna be negative 0. 0 times g, like 1 plus x squared, but who cares? That's gonna disappear. Minus g prime, which is 2x, times f, which is 6, over g squared, which is 1 plus x squared, and squared. Just don't forget about this square here, okay? Even if you write like this, you're gonna get most of the points. So let's do this. Minus, I still have minus. That disappears, so I have negative 2x times 6, which is negative 12x over 1 plus x squared and squared. And negative times negative disappears, so I'm gonna just cross it out. I'll just erase it. Okay? Like that. So keep that in mind. Now, you wanna find rate of change when x is equal to 2. So now, only thing that I'm gonna do is I plug in 2. So it's gonna be 12 times 2. 1 plus 2 squared and squared. So let's do it. 12 times 2 is 24. 2 squared is 4. That's gonna be 5. 5 squared is 25. Okay, so that's it. You don't have to, you cannot even simplify, but you don't have to simplify, okay? Even if you leave it like that, I think that's gonna be the answer. All right, that's about it, guys. I hope this one is easy for you. I'll come back to you with the next video. See you guys. Bye.